Well, well, well. Hello, maggots, and thank you for returning to another terrifying episode of the Fear Father Chronicles. In this week's episode, we'll be exploring the horrific abduction of Jonathan Lovette. If you're a fan of science fiction horror, you'll love this creepy tale. If you're afraid of alien entities and dimensional beings, you might want to turn this off and hide under your bed. Now, let's get into it. On a chilly March morning in 1956, a search party comprising 2 airmen was dispatched to locate debris from a missile test conducted the previous evening. Major William Cunningham and Sergeant Jonathan Lovette, both attached to the Air Force Missile Command at Holloman Air Force Base in Alamogordo, arrived at their designated search area around 3 a.m. After a few minutes of searching together, they separated, with Cunningham continuing straight ahead and Lovette disappearing over a nearby sand dune. Cunningham assumed Lovette had stepped away for personal reasons, but when Lovette did not return after several minutes, he retraced his steps. Suddenly, he heard a high-pitched scream that sent chills down his spine. Recognizing that Lovette was in distress, Cunningham sprinted over the sand dune, only to encounter an extraordinary sight. About 30 feet away, a metallic disc hovered silently, 15 to 20 feet above the ground. Something at the base of the object was writhing and flexing like a snake. When Cunningham shone his flashlight on it, he realized it was a thick, metallic cable. Another horrific scream jolted him back to reality, and when he directed his light toward the cable's end, he was horrified to see it wrapped around Lovette's leg. The sergeant was struggling to free himself, but his efforts seemed in vain. Cunningham watched in terror as the cable retracted quickly, dragging Lovette along the rocky ground and up toward the craft. Lovette's wild eyes met Cunningham's for a brief moment, pleading for help, before he vanished from sight. There was a dull click, and the disc ascended silently into the dark sky. Struggling to comprehend what had just happened, Cunningham stumbled back to the jeep and radioed for help, reporting that Lovette had been taken. Within minutes, Air Force units swarmed the area, but they found only Cunningham, who was in shock, rocking back and forth on the ground. Lovette was nowhere to be found. In the following days, airmen searched the vicinity of the alleged abduction site, but their efforts were futile. Staff at the site control tower confirmed that an unidentified radar contact had appeared during the incident, but it moved too quickly for any action to be taken. After 3 days of intense interrogation, news arrived that a search party had discovered Lovette's body about 10 miles downrange from where he had disappeared. Lovette's remains were horrifically mutilated in a manner unlike anything the investigators had encountered before. A precise incision extended from the tip of his jaw to the back of his larynx, with his tongue, eyes, and a significant portion of his jawbone missing. His penis had been removed, and the anus had been entirely cored out, seemingly with expert surgical skill. The coroner's report noted no signs of vascular collapse or organ failure, which was perplexing given that there was no blood left in the cadaver. Further oddities emerged from the investigation. At the site where Lovette's remains were found, several predatory birds lay dead, having apparently died after attempting to feed on the corpse. Remarkably, despite being discovered in one of the hottest and harshest environments in the U.S., Lovette's body was in surprisingly good condition. With Lovette's body recovered, Cunningham was arrested and charged with murder. Military prosecutors alleged that he had killed his subordinate, fabricated the abduction story, and mutilated the body to make the lie more convincing. However, the tribunal quickly rejected this argument. and Cunningham was released without charge. He later left the Air Force, and to this day, Jonathan Lovette's death remains unexplained. As we reflect on Jonathan Lovette's story, we are compelled to confront the uncomfortable reality that there may be forces at play that we do not fully understand. The possibility of advanced technology, whether of human or extraterrestrial origin, raises ethical questions about our place in the universe, our relationship with other life forms, and the potential for exploitation or harm. In sharing Lovette's story, we aim to ignite curiosity and encourage dialogue surrounding these enigmatic occurrences. It is essential that we remain vigilant and inquire into the nature of the phenomena that challenge our understanding of reality. By doing so, we honor the memory of those like Jonathan Lovette, whose lives were irrevocably altered by forces beyond their control, and we seek answers to the questions that continue to haunt our collective consciousness.